I've been thinking about the mechanics of manifestation recently. Or, put another way, what does it take to successfully manifest the desired outcome? Now, when it comes to manifestation, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, but most of it really boils down to a few very basic principles and understandings. And, as I've thought about that over the last few years, months, weeks, days, I've come to the conclusion that there are four basic elements. Two of them are concepts, two of them are more practical, more like the actual foundation of what it really takes to manifest. So the first concept is about time. You need to understand that everything takes time. There's always a delay between an action and the reaction. Now, depending on what you try to manifest, that delay is going to vary. If you try to manifest something very simple, that delay could be a couple seconds, minutes, hours, probably something within that time range. If it's something moderately difficult, kind of in between, not too difficult, not too easy, you're probably looking at a timeline of days or weeks. Whereas if you're trying to manifest something very difficult, well, you're probably looking more at months or years, perhaps even decades. As an example, if you're trying to manifest a cure to a supposedly incurable form of cancer, you're most likely looking at months or years. Hopefully not decades, because I don't I don't plan on spending that much of my life investing in a cure to this. But at the end of the day, you don't get to decide how long that timeline is. All you get to decide is what you choose to manifest and what you're willing to do in order to manifest that. So once you understand and you accept that concept that everything takes time and that delay will vary depending on what you're trying to manifest. Once you understand that, you're ready to really dive into the core principles of manifestation. And I believe those come as a pair and appear on a sliding scale. And those two things are one, belief, and two, effort. So at one end of the scale, you have your belief. At the other end of the scale, you have the effort you're willing to put in. Now, this is a sliding scale, so the more effort you put in, the less you have to believe. The more you believe, the less effort you have to put in. However, it's not as simple as deciding, I prefer to put more effort than having to believe, or vice versa, I prefer to believe a lot and not have to do that much work. It most of the time comes down to what you're trying to manifest. And in general, if you're trying to manifest something simple, well, the more effort you put in, the quicker you're going to get it. So that is generally a good strategy to use. If you're trying to manifest something very complex, such as the cure for an incurable cancer, odds are that's going to take a lot of time. So you're going to need to have a very high level of belief and sustain that level of belief for a very long period of time, no matter what anybody else says or believes. That's why, to me, I've discussed this in previous videos, that's why, to me, it's really a lot more about belief than it is about effort, about what I do. I believe it's about 90% what I believe and 10% what I do for this specific type of manifestation. I'm talking about me manifesting a cure to a supposedly incurable cancer. I believe that in order to manifest that, I need to sustain a very, very, very high level of belief for a very long period of time. However, the effort that I need to put in as a result is going to be fairly minimal. So let me kind of break it down and explain it to you. So I need to believe beyond the shadow of a doubt that I will be cured no matter what anybody says. Because if I listen to the doctors, if I listen to, the voice in the back of my head that's like, hey, be realistic, here's the situation, odds are you're gonna die. I can't afford to listen to that voice. I can't afford to listen to other people. I can't afford to listen to my doctor. Not to say I ignore what my doctor says, but I need to believe with every fiber of my being that I will find a cure, even though it's not logical for me to do so. It is, yes, a form of delusion, but it's something that I'm intentionally doing because I know in order to manifest this, I need to have that extremely high level of belief. Now, because I need that extremely high level of belief, and this is a sliding scale, well, then I'm going to need to put in less effort. So that means that, okay, if I'm putting in 90% belief, then I only need to put in 10% effort. Now, that effort is, making sure to eat healthy, making sure to take vitamins and drink green juices, and, go get my immunotherapy treatments every 3 weeks, get scans every couple months to track everything to make sure everything is going well, exercising to make sure my body is as healthy as it can be. So, it's, yes, some work, some effort, but still very minimal when you compare it to the extremely high level of belief that I need to maintain over months, if not years, potentially even decades, in order to get the desired outcome. So that's really kind of most of what it takes to manifest something, but there's something else that you need to take into account, that fourth part I discussed, which is another concept, and that concept is very simple. You need to understand and to accept the fact that there will always be unpredictable things that will pop up along the way. We like to come up with a plan. We like to imagine, okay, this is how it's going to go. This is what I'm going to do. It never happens that way. There's always unpredictable things that happen. You always need to adjust the action that you take. Sometimes you need to adjust the level of belief that you have and exactly what you believe. And you need to understand that and you need to accept that. Because if you don't, you can get 99% of the way to attaining what you're trying to manifest. And if in that last 1% something unexpected happens, it can completely derail you and ruin everything and keep you from manifesting what you've been working so hard and you've believed will happen for so long. So you really need to understand those concepts. So it's like, once you understand, okay, you know what? It's going to take time, and the amount of time it takes will vary depending on what I'm trying to manifest. And then you understand, okay, there's two parts. There's belief and there's effort. It's a sliding scale. Depending on what I'm trying to manifest, the level of each will vary. Once you understand that, you accept that, you choose that, and you finally realize, okay, there's going to be unpredictable things that will happen along the way. That's okay. It's part of the process. We'll just deal with it whenever it happens. Then you really have everything you need in order to manifest anything that you could possibly want. You just need to remember all those concepts. You need to remember, okay, things take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And if it's something very difficult, as in my case, it's like you're probably going to have to maintain a very high level of belief for a very extended period of time in order to make that happen, because otherwise you're just going to get discouraged and you're going to give up. When you're trying to manifest something very difficult, odds are it's not that important how much effort you put into it. You can put a ton of effort into it. If you don't have the necessary motivation and necessary belief to maintain that effort for an extended period of time, it doesn't matter what you do, how much effort you put into it. So it may seem overwhelming. It may seem like there's a lot of parts that come into play, but it's actually very simple when you think about it. It's just two very simple concepts you need to understand and accept, and then figure out where on that sliding scale are you going to place yourself in order to manifest what you're trying to manifest. And then it just comes down to maintaining the proper level of belief and taking the necessary actions when you need to. It's pretty simple. Not necessarily easy, but it's actually very simple. Now, I'm not saying I'm an expert in manifestation. I still keep learning new things every single day. But going through this journey, this experience for the last 16 months has allowed me to learn a lot about myself and about manifestation and, the world in general. And I do believe that what I just covered pretty much gives you everything you need in order to manifest whatever you want. Maybe you have a different opinion. Feel free to share it if you do. And, if you think I'm a complete idiot and manifestation is bullshit, that is fine too. I have no problem with that. I'm just sharing my understanding of manifestation, just because understanding how it really works and breaking it down to its core components really allows me to have that full grasp of the concept and then be able to apply it. Because in my situation, it's like, I can't afford to fail. Because if I fail, I die. So I'm not taking this lightly. I've taken a lot of time to think about this and remove all the elements that are sometimes associated with manifestation that aren't really useful, that are just a waste of time, a distraction, and really boil everything down to those core elements of what is really necessary to manifest the desired outcome. So I thought it was important to share that. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.